My name's Marcus. I'm 35 years old, and I drive trucks for a company in Bakersfield. Nothing special, I deliver stuff at night through California and Nevada. You'd be surprised how alone you feel on the road after midnight, when there's nothing but you in the dark. I used to tell myself it was just another night, just another drive. But lately, every road felt like a test I kept failing. I didn't always drive trucks at night. I used to build houses, but I hurt my knee and made some bad choices. Now I'm in trouble. Big trouble. I owe $10,000. Gambling. Every time I won, I thought my luck was turning. Every time I lost, things got worse. The house always wins, and I should have known that. It wasn't about money anymore. It was about thinking I could beat a game that was rigged from the start. The men I owe money to. They don't wait for late payments. They show up at your door with tools and mean smiles. So I took extra jobs, longer drives, anything to get money fast. That's how I ended up driving engine parts to Henderson on Route 86, a road I'd never heard of before. I looked at my old paper map the night before. Route 86 went through some old forest that looked empty on Google. It seemed easy enough. Quiet roads, no traffic. I thought I'd save time and maybe get some sleep before dropping off the parts. I told myself it was just another road. Pavement, trees, a few signs. But something about how that road curved on the map made my stomach feel sick. It bent like a hook. Like it was made to catch something. At first, everything seemed normal. I drove out of Bakersfield, past empty land and the occasional gas station glowing in the dark. I ate a sandwich from home, turkey and mustard on white bread that tasted like nothing, and tried not to think about the money I owed. The night air was dry. I had my windows cracked to stay awake. Around 10:30, I stopped at a gas station to fill up and get coffee. The place didn't have a name, just a rusty sign that said, "Service." It looked closed at first, one flickering light above the pump, a cracked window, weeds growing through the concrete. But inside, someone was there. There was one row of snacks, a humming cooler that sounded broken, and a counter that hadn't been cleaned in years. Behind it sat an old man with a worn face and a red trucker cap. He looked up from a tiny TV when I walked in. "Where you headed?" he asked, his voice rough like gravel. "Henderson," I said. "Taking Route 86. His eyes got narrow. "Not after midnight, I hope." I laughed, but it didn't sound right. "Is there a curfew or something?" He didn't smile. "That road's bad after dark. When you hit the quarry bend and start going up, you'll see." I poured coffee from the dirty pot by the register. It looked like motor oil. Ghost stories. He pulled out an old road map from under the counter, pages yellow and stained. He pointed at a thin gray line with his finger. "That part there. Used to charge people money to drive through back in the 1950s. A guy named Coleman ran it. He made lots of money charging folks to use a public road. Wouldn't let ambulances through without paying. One winter night, a kid was dying in the back of one. Coleman wouldn't open the gate. The kid died right there." My coffee suddenly tasted awful. "What happened to Coleman?" "Someone burned down the booth with him inside. They say you could hear him screaming for miles." The old man traced the road on the map. "Burned for 3 days. Nothing left but ash and the smell of cooked meat." I tried to smile, but couldn't. "So he came back." The man stared at me. "People say he still takes payment. But now he doesn't want coins." "What does he want?" "Whatever you can't give up." The light above us flickered. For just a second, the man looked different, like someone with burn scars on his neck. "What does he look like?" I whispered. "Tall and thin like a burnt stick. Wears the old uniform, but it's melted into his skin now. The badge is still on his chest, but it's warped from the fire. Some say he's too tall for the booth now, just stands there. Watching. Waiting. Sounds fake." "Maybe," he said, but his voice was serious. "Problem is, nobody's pretending." I paid with shaking hands. The old man's fingers were ice cold. "Time's running out," he said as I left. After midnight, turn around if you see that booth. Some debts can't be paid with money. Back in the truck, I tried to shake it off. Just small-town scary stories to keep city people away. Every back road has ghost stories. But I checked the clock. 11:12 p.m. Plenty of time to get through before midnight. I drank the bad coffee and drove. The night felt heavy, like the air before a big storm hits. The road got smaller and smaller. The few lights from town faded away like dying stars. Each mile felt like I was getting further from everything I knew. The shadows from telephone poles looked like crosses, and the stars seemed too bright, like they were watching. Soon there were no more lights, no more gas stations. Just black road and trees that pressed close like they were curious. My headlights cut through the dark, but it felt like the darkness was fighting back. My GPS flickered and died. Then it came back and sent me onto a smaller road, Old Quarry Pass, local access only. I grabbed my paper map. The road wasn't there. Just blank space where it should be, like someone had erased it. I should have turned around right then. Should have gone back to the main highway and taken the long way. But the road looked fine. Clean pavement. It just looked empty. Like it was waiting just for me. The GPS came back on and showed the route. Arrival time, 12:10 a.m. 10 minutes late, I said. Better hurry. Big mistake. The trees closed in right away, leaning over the road like they wanted to make a tunnel. My bright lights barely reached the next turn. The road looked brand new, too new. No cracks, no holes, no tire marks from other cars. Just perfect black pavement cutting through the hills. I tried the radio. Just static that sounded like whispers. Even my engine got quieter, like the night was eating all the sound. Then I saw it. A toll booth, sitting right in the middle of the road. Green wood frame, yellow glass that looked cloudy, and an old sign that said, "Stop, pay toll." I slowed down, my heart beating fast. Someone was standing inside the booth, a person facing me, not moving at all. Just watching. The booth looked wrong, like it was from a different time. The wood was old but not rotted. Like it existed outside of normal time. I couldn't see the face clearly. Just the shape of someone in what looked like a uniform. The kind of shape your brain doesn't want to look at too long. The booth's arm came down with a rusty screech. I sat there with my engine running, staring at the booth. My hands were sweaty on the wheel. Maybe it was fake, left over from a movie or Halloween. But it didn't feel fake. It felt wrong in a way I couldn't explain. The red and white striped arm stayed down. Like it knew I was there and wouldn't let me through without paying. I turned on my bright lights. The glare hit the glass and lit up the figure inside. He didn't move. Just stood there with his head tilted, like he was listening to something. I rolled down my window. "Hey. What's the toll?" "Nothing." The figure might as well have been made of shadow. I wasn't getting out of the truck. The road was narrow, with thick trees on both sides and a steep drop to the right. No way around. A sign on the booth's window caught my eye. Hand-painted in red letters on white wood, "Toll must be paid in full." Then I saw the tray. Like at a bank drive-through, one of those metal drawers that slide out. It came toward me slowly, squeaking. Empty. Waiting. I stared at it. "Look, I don't have cash." "Credit card." The figure didn't answer. But the trees on both sides started rustling, even though there was no wind. Like something big was moving through them. I checked my rearview mirror. Nothing but blackened branches that looked too much like reaching hands. Fear hit me then, the kind that lives deep in your bones, passed down from people who knew when to run from dangerous things. I did something desperate. I gripped the wheel tight and hit the gas. The truck shot forward. The wooden arm cracked against my hood and snapped up into the trees. I drove straight through, heart pounding. In my mirror, I saw the booth getting smaller, glowing with pale light. A mile later, I let out my breath. Nothing was following me. No sirens, no lights. Just me and the empty road. I laughed, but it sounded scared. Good job, Marcus. You got spooked by a fake booth. But I knew it wasn't fake. The road curved left, then right, then up into the hills. No signs, no exits. The GPS was frozen at 12:01 a.m., 1 minute after midnight, when the old man said to turn back. I hit the GPS. Nothing. It stayed at that time, blinking like a heartbeat. The trees got closer to the truck, branches scraping the roof like fingernails. My headlight seemed weaker now, like the dark was eating the light. 10 minutes later, my truck made a weird noise. The fuel was fine, but the battery light blinked and died. The radio went quiet. Even the clock went dark. My headlights got dimmer but kept working. A sound came from far away. Not an engine. Not wind. A bell ringing, the sound of a toll bell. Then something cold touched my leg. I looked down and my heart stopped. The tray. The same metal drawer from the booth. It had somehow come out from under my dashboard, even though that was impossible. Empty. Waiting. I tried to push it back, but it wouldn't move. It hummed quietly like it was plugged into something big and electric hidden under my truck. The lights inside my truck flickered. The windshield got foggy instantly, like someone breathed on it. Words started appearing, written by an invisible finger. I hit the gas hard. The engine roared and the tray slid back under the dashboard with a satisfied click. The fog on the windshield disappeared. But the road was wrong now. The mile markers started over, mile 4, mile 5, mile 4 again. Like I was driving in a circle on a road that didn't follow normal rules. I pulled over and turned off the engine. I listened to the night. Quiet. Then footsteps. Soft. Scraping the road like someone dragging their feet. Getting closer. I locked my doors with shaking hands. The footsteps stopped right behind my truck. I didn't look back. I held my breath and counted to 30. When I couldn't stand it anymore, I started the truck and drove off fast. But it was the same road, same turns, same trees, same old billboard that said, "Thank you for visiting the ridge." I passed it 3 times. Each time, the letters looked more twisted. Like they weren't thanking tourists anymore. Each time, I felt something watching from the trees. Then, up ahead like a bad joke. The booth. Again. But different now. The lights inside were brighter. The figure looked clearer, more real, more there. The toll tray was already out. Waiting. I hit the brakes hard. The truck stopped with squealing tires. I sat there, breathing hard, staring at the thing that had been following me. He still hadn't moved. And I still hadn't paid. I put the truck in reverse and hit the gas, but only made it 20 feet before the dashboard tray came out again. This time, something was in it. My watch. The cheap digital one I'd worn for years. But now the face was cracked and the numbers were scrambled. I picked it up. It was so cold it burned my fingers. The display showed 11 hours 59 minutes and 59 seconds for a second, then went black. The watch turned to dust in my hands. The windshield got foggy again. New words appeared. Part payment taken. Continue. I wiped the glass clean, my heart beating like crazy. The road ahead was dark, but the booth's arm was up now. Waiting for me to drive through. So I did.